Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back. So tonight I actually want to do a recap of last night's Forex trade. So what happened was essentially for those in my Fiverr audience, you guys can relate. I have the I trade market profile levels. For those that don't know, but for my Fiverr audience, you should be more familiar. And so what I did was last night we had, so I'm recording this right now on August 20th. Last night was August 19th, so it was the Monday night. 9:30 news, we had the Aussie monetary meeting minutes. And so what happened was actually the rate was well, from the meeting minutes they said that they're going to leave the rates unchanged. And so actually what happened was, you would expect, because the Aussie is weaker against the pound, related to that news announcement, so you would expect price to go higher. But actually what happened was 4:30 GMT plus 2 time. This is the bar we're looking at. This is actually here. This is the bar that we're looking at with the wick on the top. So actually price went lower quite significantly, and you'll see in the highlights, usually for those that are new to trading the Aussie meeting minutes, policy meeting minutes, usually what I find are these meeting minutes are things don't go the way they planned. So that's why unlike other news announcements, I didn't just jump into it. I waited for the technicals to lead the way for my decision making, and the technicals I use are again, my Fiverr audience would be more familiar. They're market profile levels, or they're also called volume profile, where you're looking at volume at a certain price. And so essentially I just waited for, where did I get into? This is the trade last night. It shows up as the 20th because it was in the Asian session. So I got in at 1.79056. So yeah, I got in just below this candle right here. Maybe I should zoom in. There we go. That's cleaner. So this is the 4:30. That's where the news came in. I got in at 1.79506. So just below this blue line, which is a low volume node. This pink line represents volume point in control. This is value area high, value area low. And so I got in here with a bullish bias because I was thinking because the pound is relatively weaker against, the Aussie is relatively weaker against the pound, there would be some bullish bias. So what happened was, initially it worked out for a little bit, then it moved against me, and then it came right back up, and it worked. But for the majority of the night, if I zoom out, here, this was what we were looking at. This is where we were zoomed in. For the majority of the night, it went actually against me, and you'll see that in the highlights. And so because I position size 0.5% risk per trade, I actually had the luxury of holding on to this trade and expanding my stop loss to 2% stop loss. And when I did that, I actually bought myself time for this to go about, about not even like 110 pips against me. Before in the morning, this morning, it came right back up with this really violent move here. This is, when was this? 16, 17. So that's 9:55. Yeah, 9:55 a.m. this morning. It came right back up, and actually I had a stop loss here at 1.79, 1.79475, 475, yeah. So it hit my stop loss right there. So it actually turned out to be a swing trade, and you'll see in the highlights I was even up late. I was up till 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning just managing the trade. But nevertheless, again, it speaks to position sizing, because even though I got in here, so it's about here, and it went against me for well over 100 pips. I was still able to hold on to it for it to come back and actually work out in my favor, and expand my stop loss from 0.5% risk to 2% risk, which I was willing to take. For those that don't have the risk tolerance, I would say don't do it. But in this case, again, because I was trading 0.5% risk on $700 account, so when it hits 40 pips, it was $3 loss. When it hit these areas, we were looking at around $8 loss. But if it had hit the full 2% loss on my account, it would have been about I believe anywhere from 14 to 18 bucks. That's about 2% of the account. So that's still relatively not a big loss in one trade that you can't recover from. So that's actually another good way to look at position sizing. Start with 0.5%. Then if you need to make adjustments, then you can increase your stop to 2% for the trade if you really have conviction in where you think the price is going. If you're not sure, then I would say just on a pull, wait for a retracement like this and just close the trade and accept the loss. But I had the conviction that it would turn around, and it actually did turn around this morning. So I was able to what was it? The dollar value was $4.08. That's gross. And then if we look at where I got in, around here, and where my stop filled at 1.797, yeah, 775. So about 41 pips. That's my no, actually I think it's about 42 pips. 5.6 to 1.79, 7.5. Yeah, it's about 42 pips actually. So 42 pips profit, and yeah, that's it. I called it a night. From then on, it went. This morning, it just after this morning's bullish move, it went. The market was just sideways for the pound Aussie, and right now in the evening it's still pretty sideways. So nothing too crazy. But yeah, if you guys if you're part of my Fiverr audience, I'm going to make this into again a longer training video and send it out to you guys. So that should be good. and I'll also look to provide you guys with a futures trading, because I also did some futures trading today. So if I don't get any futures trade tomorrow, then I'll be able to upload that one too, and that one was pretty cool as well. So thanks again for watching. Enjoy the highlights, and again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be able to happy to answer them for you. Thank you. Bye now.